Hey everyone, I thought I'd get started today because it is Project Catalyst and there's 1,001 proposals we could potentially be looking through and whatnot. Thanks for your question, Paul. That's a good shout just to get the actual voting process started again. So anybody that hasn't voted in Project Catalyst yet, this is a very easy way to earn yourself some free ADA. Hey, Utan.
Good
Easy
morning,
way to earn
guys.
yourself some free Utan. Morning. Some free ADA. In a couple months' time. So Project Catalyst is a $60 million um, innovation fund that's run by the Cardano um, ecosystem that looks to promote anybody who has ADA, ask them to put in a proposal, the community then vote on the proposals that they like, and anybody can vote if you hold more than 500 ADA, I think it is. So um, you're incentivized for voting, and that's an easy way to get started with decentralizing governance in communities and in ecosystems based around blockchain. So your taster sessions, playing around with Project Catalyst, is a really good way of doing a micro version of a full-blown national voting system or something like that. And I say, a micro version, still distributing $60 million each quarter, so it's not peanuts, but this is a really good way to start your brain thinking about decision making, helping make choices as a collective, coming to some sort of consensus with a group of people, a large group of people, that isn't on a heavy representative basis at the moment. So you don't have politicians coming and shouting at you for a week of harassment, as I think of the general election. But actually, you can just do some reasonably slow-paced, sensible evaluation of who you think has got good ideas in the ecosystem, have a look at their ideas, and then sticking a vote in for them and getting a nice return for it. So there are a couple of things that need to happen. You will have registered already, hopefully. The snapshot, actually, there was one question we didn't cover last week. Dinesh, was you asking about your voting power? So
Yeah. So on the app it says the voting power updated on the 15th of January 2024, 21:45. And I thought the voting snapshot was later than that, so I'm not sure. In the future, we'll have to look out for the actual snapshot date at the key date.
yeah, so the snapshot date this time around is 15th, I think, of Jan. So whatever your balance was in the wallet you voted to register for, either in this last month or 3 months ago for Fund 10, that will be the balance on. So the balance on the 15th will be the balance you actually have in the voting power. So on a side note, I run Fluid Stake Pool, as you all know, and we've had a million ADA loan for the last year, which has meant that we've been producing blocks rapidly or reasonably repeatedly. So if I get up on screen now, just quickly. Right, you'll have to bear with me for a minute. My settings have reverted to the screen share being broken.
I've just while you're checking, I've just checked. I've transferred on the 25th of January. So obviously I missed that deadline. So that's why I didn't pick up. Okay. I didn't spot the deadline for the snapshot. So that explains it.
Yeah, okay. But I just need the passcode. 1 second. That is 77458. No,
Yeah, because always I have to sign in all the time, and it's quite annoying. So just want to put passcode, but it will ask passcode. I might as well passcode and sign in all the way. Thank you.
worries.
Thank.
See if I can choose there. It's food pool. Over the past year, we've had about 1.5 million, 1.6, and we got up to 1.95 at one point. ADA in the pool, so that was looking very rosy. Now we're looking a little bit more depressed, but of course this is far higher than we were 2 years ago, so can't complain. But yeah, so the million loan has gone back to all the lenders. Thank you, all lenders. That was very much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed your 5.5% interest for the past year, and that's been paid out. If you haven't collected yet, go and do that. Go on to Optim Finance and redeem your Optim bond. That'll give you your capital back and your 5.5% interest. The vote power for that million ADA actually was still in my wallet prior to the snapshot. So actually, I've got my million ADA to vote for in Fund 11. Yay! So I'm hoping to get my phone up on screen as well, and I can share screen and actually run through the vote process from the mobile app point of view. But while we're here, we can jump in and have a look at Project Catalyst. So this is the main website for introducing Project Catalyst as a whole. There is an older, clunkier system behind it that runs the proposal management. So unfortunately, you have to get exposed to that as well. But up here, you can see a nice, slick website for all the proposals, all the challenges or categories of proposals, and you can see a timeline for the process. So we're now in the middle of the voting phase. Got until middle of next week, I think, to finish our votes. And in that time, we've got to sift through 900 proposals. You don't have to read them all, and you only have to vote on a couple. But that will turn your rewards. But that's a good thing to do. So these are the categories from last time. If you want to browse through this site, which is a good way to get an overview of what was required of people who wanted to propose in these categories. And then down here are some of the actual proposals themselves. So this is one kind of tidy way of just looking through proposals. Hotel room ID and room booking software development kit. From Cloud 10 Hospitality. I don't know this proposal, I don't know this project. That might be worth read more, I think, some more of the details. And you're really looking for well filled out details that resonate with you and how you think the solution should be built. You've got to evaluate whether you think the team can deliver on what they're promising, or whether they can attract the people to help them deliver on what they're promising. Because really what we're doing is spending treasury funds on bright ideas, bright people to try and get stuff built. So you want to find the right people to be building the products that we want to see built at this point in time. Now, your perspective will change over time. You know, obviously at the moment we're very early days, really still in the history of blockchain. And even though we're giving out $60 million of ADA each quarter, that's a small fry compared to where we will be down the road. But the direction that we take now, and the speed of spending that we make now determines how successful we will be long term. So if there's something that's sort of think of it like the last few decorations on the Christmas tree. You don't want to be building those yet. You want to be starting with getting your base, your bucket, your sand, your water, your trunk planted, and make sure the tree is healthy. So these fundamental infrastructure, governance, decision-making proposals are really, really crucial to get right. So yeah, read up on those, try and get your heads into those, certainly the infrastructure ones, and then you can start looking around at the wider scheme of things as we go. So Catalyst systems improvements are important. It's just going to help drive the way the Catalyst is actually built out. That's probably crucial categories to look at. And then you can venture into these other ones, which are more from smaller developers, smaller teams, people like me, who have bright ideas and want to help out. Not help out, actually, that's the wrong phrase. Really, these infrastructure guys are helping out the rest of us. So this is for every man to have their ideas funded and built. Dinesh, you got a question?
Yeah, just a quickie. Are we able to vote from this website, or do you have to go back onto the app on the mobile to vote?
Yeah, unfortunately, we still aren't at a place where we can do desktop voting. So the only way to vote is to get the mobile app up and running.
Okay, so use the desktop for browsing and reading the whole apps ideas.
Yeah. And then
Thank you.
the vote actually gets done on the mobile app.
Yeah.
So this is one website now, which is new this time around, which is looking really good. We have another one, Lido Nation, which has been around for years now, and it's getting better and better each time. So this is probably the most mature proposal browsing platform around at the moment. Has some really nice filtering features, lots of rich information on a small page. So a good way to browse proposals. And I actually use this now over the others as it stands at the moment. I get into proposals, and then, for example, you can filter across all the ones that have ever existed. We've got 920 proposals. You can see down here on the left in this filter list. Excuse me. Got 920 proposals this time around, which has cut the numbers down quite a bit from previous funds. So in Fund 10, we had nearly 1,500 proposals. Now we're down to 920. And this is largely to do with the categories being reshuffled. There are more stringent criteria on being accepted. And now people have had proposals open for several funds, more than 3 funds in a row, and haven't closed them all out, won't be able to add new proposals in. So that's really starting to pull money out of development teams and making sure that it's available for new people with ideas. But also ensuring that we get delivery on some of the ideas that have been funded, back in funds 4, 5, 6, 7. Really getting those wrapped up now would be great, so we can actually move forward, see where we're having success and where we're not being so successful. So this is a great platform for browsing. Got really good sorting. There is a community ranking feature on here, which is not on here, but semi-useful. So that can lead to some bias in the ordering of things, but it's still quite useful. I find that quite useful to sort by that. So ranking high to low, and then I start to see faces I recognize, which is one of the criteria I use to look at. So here is Fletcher. You guys will know him as the community manager for Machiavellic. Machiavellic is one of our partner projects, their game development. So Fletcher runs Room Pool and runs Carpool Education, and he's got a proposal in for unleashing Cardano's gaming revolution for mass adoption and blockchain, along with the rest of the Machiavellic team, and Wild Snake Studios. So that's one of the proposals that actually will directly affect Fluidful, because we are a partner with Machiavellic. We've got some promotional events coming up later in the year that, and also anybody who delegates to Fluidful will be receiving some of these benefits, additional benefits over and above their ADA, which are earning from being from staking the pool. So that's one certainly that I'll be looking at. I've actually got it bookmarked here. So I've got this bookmark list, which I'm slowly building up of proposals that I want to see funded. And what I can do is share with you guys my my bookmarks. So I'll do that. And when you go through to when you go through to actually voting, and if you want a head start, just a quicker filter list, Juso's 920 down, something a bit more manageable. It's a good way to do it. Okay. I'll drop that into the Zoom chat for now. All my links go on to the Discord server every week, so you haven't joined that yet. That's always a good thing to do. Right. That's a permanent link to the Discord. And this is the list of the bookmarks I've collected so far. Now, this is a small list, and I've been having people send me their projects, their proposals, and I'm slowly gathering those together to start looking at them on a wider level. So I've got here a list that's particularly interesting. Just got dropped to me this morning from a friend Raz, who I met at the London Summit now, which is great, or actually Cardano Foundation event. But he's a good guy, and he's working with sustainable ADA, so trying to find ecological, social impact type proposals, gather them together, and raise their profile. And that's a good way of sort of aggregating the interests, creating lists of proposals that you think will be good, that you resonate with, and then giving people a shorter list to look through. But this is a good list. We can have a quick scan through as well. Dinesh, a question.
Yeah, I'm just going through the Light Donation. I'm trying to create a bookmark, and it pops up with this window called bookmark smash out. Well, one of the projects, and you can put a little note in it. And underneath, there's a drop down for new collection, type collection name, and hit enter. So I'm just struggling to actually bookmark a project. How do you do it?
Okay, so from here, this way you are.
Yeah.
So I've got my lists already created. If you haven't got one yet, you can just type in that list, a name that suits you. So you might be doing this each fund. So create a list based on the fund name or something like that. Quite sensible. And then that should then appear. Now there is a little bug in here that's showing an error message.
It's an error message. Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
That doesn't seem to cause any problems, so you can just ignore that. Again, this is a community tool built by Darlington and the Light Donation team. Been unfunded up until last fund, I think. So working on a shoestring budget to get these things built. Hopefully, certainly this is another opportunity to vote for them. I think they've got some proposals in. But any tools you see that you start using in the community, then yeah, think about funding. If they've got proposals in Project Catalyst, think about dropping them a vote. Good way to do it. So once you've got an item list in there, then you can just say choose that one as the target for adding anything. There's another SQL error in this case. I've also got some issues sending queries back to their database. It stores all these preferences, but it doesn't seem to impact. You still get the actual list being, or the proposal being bookmarked. Okay, so if you go down to your you need to recover it again later, you can go to this dashboard link at the top right for the little house icon on it. And then under my bookmarks list, there should be a now new list. You can jump in view, and it's grab the Smash House onboarding to Cardano through creative anger relief proposals, and dropped it in there. So you can gather your bookmarks together and then have a quick way of jumping back to read through them before you go on to vote. Now, the major downside without having desktop voting is that it's difficult to transpose this list of proposals that you're gathering here onto your voting app. So there is still that manual, painful approach when it comes to actually voting. They are working it. There is a solution in progress from the Catalyst infrastructure team, but we're not quite there yet. So actually, the next bit I want to do is show you the mobile app. So to actually join the call from the mobile, I need to sign out from Zoom on my mobile. Do it currently. Then I get my Zoom link. You have to drop it. Stop share. Stop share. Sorry about this. Let me stop sharing. So that bug is still there. Great. The house.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Try doing share. Yeah.
I was just about to say that's technology for you.
That finally worked. Okay. So, are you seeing that? Because I'm not on my desktop.
Yes, we are. Now we're seeing it, seeing your phone.
Yeah, keep the phone there.
Great. I wonder if it won't let me stop screen share. So you can see my vote power, which is at 1 million, which is the loan I got last time, which is great to have that as a vote. And the number of days we've got left before voting ends. So we've got 6 days to get our votes in. The proposals button at the bottom is where you find all of these. And the easiest way I found to do it is just to then go in, search. For example, if we were looking for this Smash House, you'll see the proposal come up. From here, you can choose how you're going to vote. Now you'll see there's a new function this time round. That is the vote yes or vote abstain. Switch the audio. And it's where the abstain button is now. There used to be a vote no, and so that was a single yes no vote that would use the whole of your voting power to either vote for the proposal or against the proposal, and then the tallies would count those no votes and diminish the power or diminish the vote for the yes votes across the board for everybody. So you could lose or you could gain an advantage if you were a proposer by going in and upvoting your proposal and downvoting competing proposals in that category. And so that just became a tactic that proposers would use to try and increase their chances of gaining funding. So it just was a factor for gaming the system that lots of people took advantage of. And then also there was sort of mass attacks on sectors of the community that people had an issue with. You know, that could have been we're giving too much money to education projects in Africa, and so just downvote all of those. Or we got scammed by someone from Sri Lanka last time, so let's downvote all those. So there is a problem with that downvote feature that I hated all the way through. They removed it for Fund 11, which is great, but they had to do something with the button because to obfuscate the data in terms of who voted for what as much as possible, you kind of need a couple of options. So what the advice is for this fund is to vote yes for the projects you want to see funded, and then just choose some other random projects. Doesn't matter if you like them or not. You can click the vote abstain button, and that will help obfuscate your data set as it goes into the great pool. So it's harder for people to back engineer, reverse engineer, and they're waiting to find out who you are and what you voted for, or where your wallet is, what you voted for. So it's a sort of hangover from the prior design that is being mitigated by keeping the button, but making it have no effect. So it doesn't matter if you vote abstain on any proposals that you're indifferent on. It won't make a difference to their results. They'll still have all their positive votes, and it won't affect the downvote at all. There will be no downvoting this time, which is great. Cool. So let me actually find the proposal that I know I do want to vote a yes on. I'll take that through to a bit more of a logical conclusion. I need to go back to my one of them was search for. Let's search for wild snake to see if that's mathematic. No, it's not on the wild snake. I think you kind of do need the title, a word for the title, you need to get decent results. This one. They're proposing, or they're requesting 230,000 ADA to bring this additional game development team into the fold to help them fund the development of their game. They make good progress themselves, but building a game, building a whole world for people to play around in is a time-intensive task, and so they do need a lot of data to get that done. And with a long development time as well, no matter how much funding you raise, you do run out eventually. So this is a good project. We follow them for a long time. We're partners with them, and I've been on their Discord. They've released a new Discord with this FGL, who are actually from another blockchain, the Wax chain, but they're using their skills in game promotion and project promotion to actually help out Machiavellic as well, and that's been a very positive move. So I think that they're making wise decisions management-wise. but yeah, do make your own decisions, read the proposal, see what they're actually asking for and how it will be spent. There's budget money in here as well. Getting feedback.
Jonathan,
Yes.
if you vote like less like for example, I've already, in fact, I already voted like randomly about 10 already, 9 or 10. So if I want to add more on it, would that be like, would it matter? Would it do like your weight of your vote would be less, or you can vote as much as you like? It doesn't matter because you have already voted one round already, you see.
Yeah, good question. If you could mute again. Getting feedback. Thanks. So the vote power you have is, so I've got 1 million ADA, and that's going to be a million ADA voting for each proposal I vote on. I can vote on as many proposals as I want, all with that full power. And if I vote yes on this one now, and actually submit that, so I can continue voting, or I can go to my selection. Let's go to my selection. And if I submit my votes here, then it will actually submit that on chain. It would complete voting for that proposal, and I couldn't retract my vote on that proposal, but I can still add subsequent votes for any other proposals. So you can submit votes as many times as you want. It doesn't affect you in any way negatively. So that's one thing that actually is probably worthwhile doing. If you're taking this as a slow and steady approach over a few days, then the app does remember with proposals you've put into your selection, but there has been reports of it losing that set of votes you've collected over a few days. It can happen when the mobile phone restarts, or if you close the app and kill and wipe its recent memory by shutting it down, then it removes your selection list. So I would advise, if you've gathered 50 proposals together you want to vote for, just get them submitted on chain, and that way you're definitely sure you're not going to lose all that work, and then you can come back and add some more later. There's no problem with that at all. Cool. Any other questions on the voting app? Is that all making sense for you?
Quick question, Jonathan. Is there a fee that you pay for voting each time, or once?
No fees involved in this. Actually, how the Project Catalyst voting system works, is that it's running on Jormungandr, which is an early version of the Cardano blockchain. It was forked off and then added features just exclusively for voting. So it's got a full record of wallets from mainnet and what they hold. That's what the snapshot is. And then all the voting data is actually stored in a separate blockchain, which isn't open and accessible in its entirety yet. They're working towards it, but again, they're working hard to make this anonymous voting feature, so that it's hard for people to decipher who you are and what you voted for, other than if you are a delegated representative, in which case you're a public figure who's looking for to represent lots of proposals, and so people will vote for you en masse, or vote through you en masse. So you could assign your vote power to me, and I can then pick my proposals to vote for, and that system is being worked on at the moment. But yes, you don't get charged anything. Jormungandr, it's fee-free blockchain. So you pay to register to vote, a transaction fee on mainnet on Cardano, and there is no then subsequent fees for voting. You just get rewarded for it. So it's a good system.
And when typically do you see those rewards? Like, is that a couple of months' time, Jonathan?
Yeah. So once the vote has concluded and results are in, then it's normally a few epochs after that the rewards get distributed. I did try and find a way to identify the rewards in your wallet from Fund 10, because I remember you asking that question. But I couldn't actually figure out, so I need to go back to the Catalyst team themselves and get that question, because they just appear as sort of normal reward transactions, normal, like you get rewards for staking. You get now the rewards through for voting too.
And is the reward scheme based on the amount of ADA that you vote with, or is just basically a standard amount of ADA you get for giving your time and your votes?
So it's a they'll take so the full voting snapshot is all the ADA that then gets used to vote, and the proportion of the wallets within that bundle of ADA is then used to proportion up the reward pot. So there's, I can't remember the figures now, but it's like I want to say 20% of the Catalyst budget goes to, it's not that high actually, goes to voting rewards. That then splits up between all the wallets that voted in the proportions of the ADA that they held. So the more ADA you hold, the bigger your reward would be. So yeah, it's kind of reinforcing that whole people who put, skin in the game, put in a load of investment into Cardano, then get rewarded more. Cool. Now I'm slowly losing more and more functionality on Zoom, so I might have to try and make one of you co-host and then jump out of the call and jump back in again, so I can actually get back control.